Welcome to PubTech in Review, led by Vidazoo, a video monetization platform focused on creating high-end video products for digital publishers. This podcast is dedicated to building a community and uncovering the subjects that matter most to digital publishers. Join us as we break down and explore industry policy, expert opinions, monetization technologies, and programmatic industry's future. PubTech in Review.
All right, so hello everyone, and welcome to our very first PubTech in Review podcast for 2022. I'm Daniel Slivkin, the CEO and co-founder at Vidazoo, a video monetization platform that is focused on creating high-end video products for digital publishers. Today, I am lucky to be talking to a man who has been very active in shaping the future of digital advertising and who also been responsible for acquiring Vidazoo and integrating it into Perion. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Doron Gerstel, the CEO of Perion Networks. Over the last few years, Perion has been a front player in capitalizing and the shifting budgets between the three main pillars of the digital advertising ecosystem, which is search, social, and CTV. So welcome, Doron. Nice to have you here.
Hey, hi, Daniel. What an honor to be your first guest on your 2022 podcast.
For sure. So Doron, me and you have been talking a lot lately about the future of media, tech, and digital advertising. But before we jump into the professional session, why don't you give us a quick brief introduction about you and Perion and your tremendous work in the sector over the last couple of years?
Great. Thanks for the opportunity. As you asked, few words about Perion. So Perion is an advertisement technology company, publicly traded, both in NASDAQ and the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. I'm as a CEO since April 2017, so it's almost 5 years. And one of the major decisions that we took back then, management of Perion, is to very much follow a diversification strategy. And what I mean about the diversification strategy is that when we're looking about advertising technology from the point of view of the chief digital officer of any given brand, and the chief digital officer of today's has his main challenge is to what extent they want to allocate their budget among what is known as the three main pillars of digital advertising. As you said, it's search advertising, social advertising, and display advertising. When I mean display, it has to do with website, web app, CTV, OTT, everything which is not social and not search advertising. And the decision was that we need to capitalize on any changes Chief Digital Officer is doing between those three main pillars. I can say that the market, when it comes to display advertising, is very much shifting towards video. This is why Vidazoo, it's that strategic in our portfolio.
Amazing. And yeah, we also, the amazing job you did. I think that the Perion stock has been rallied for the last 5 years in hundreds of percent. So definitely looks like you're doing a great job. One, on shaping the strategy. Second, making those acquisitions and build a bigger vision. So that's amazing. And thanks for that. My first question will be, what do you expect will happen in 2022? And I'm interested to hear your opinion, both as, CEO of a NASDAQ listed company, but at the same time also to understand more like how you envision the AdTech industry will look in 2023. Yeah. Like a lot of challenges this year and also a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. So let's start with the fact that the total addressable market for digital advertising in large is going to reach $500 billion in 2023. So we are almost there, and $500 billion. With that, we definitely, can see few public companies they're doing great, and they have one mission is how they're able to differentiate themselves and able to grow their business more than others. And in that sense, it's always divided into two: what they're doing in terms of organic growth and what they're doing in inorganic, which means M&A and acquisition. In this regards, we are expecting, and what we've seen here, a lot of M&A opportunities that companies growing through acquisition, and they definitely expand their offering.
So consolidation is getting back to the game.
Consolidation is definitely there. I can tell you that when it comes to Perion, which is, as I mentioned, follow diversification strategy, there is a lot of points on areas which we are defining gap from what we have today that we need to close either organic or inorganic through acquisition. If it's on the demand side of our or the demand side or the supply side of our platform. So I'm expecting a lot of consolidation.
Sounds good. Tell me, Doron, what about video? We touched it in the previous question, but I mean, obviously you just acquired Vidazoo, so your vision to continue growing the video sector in this next few years is obvious, but I wonder what your thoughts about this specific pillar and how it connects to the Perion 3 main pillars.
Yeah, very much so. So I think that overall, everything that has come from advertisement, we can look at it from consumer engagement standpoint. Because if they engage, with the content and if they engage, the idea is that they engage more with the content as well as with the advertising format. And in this regards, we're shifting on the consumer behavior towards video. And we see more and more publisher that shifting towards video content. And we've seen a lot of advertiser that see that consumer are engaged more with video formats. In this regards, and I can tell you about Perion that we are increasing every year the amount of dollar spent when it comes to video format. I think that from the publisher standpoint, it's not just, it started with having a sophisticated player, but what we've seen from a publisher that they're asking for expanding more and more the platform capability. And in this regards, when it comes to having multiple video format, it has a video monetization, it has the player, it has to do with a marketplace for a video content. All in all, it has to do with more video capabilities, technologies that publishers are looking to have as part of their video solution. And I think that here it's comes the Vidazoo expanded platform that you are selling, so well, for publisher that looking to, on one hand, expand the capability, but on the other hand, minimize the number of vendors that they are working with. So all-in-one is definitely a narrative that we've seen for more and more publisher, which I think the Vidazoo platform is playing so well with that demand in the market.
We see that the things that grow in the video pillar, I would say in the video sector, is mainly the platforms, the devices. I think that 5 years ago, we all seen the tremendous growth in applications, in apps. And I think that in the last couple of years, everybody talking about OTT and CTV. Mm-hmm. So definitely it also connects to the content because obviously what you consume on desktop, mobile is different, on over-the-top devices. And we all seen a tremendous growth in user engagement today to the same screens, but coming from different devices. So what's your take on that?
So the take is that it's definitely the holy grail when it comes to advertising has to do with the multi-screen synchronization, and the idea is to capture consumer engagement in its way, to work or to, on the train, at the office. So it's the mobile and then the desktop, and at home is the big screen. And I think that one of the major effort that we did as an advertising technology company is try to synchronize between all those kind of devices. and creating here a very effective flow, and that we like to call it synchronization and synchronize, because one of the things that we always keep in mind is to what extent we are able to move or take the user along the sales funnel. And all these devices needs to be connected in order to move or shift the user from awareness all the way into the action. And once you are developing, this kind of synchronization, it plays well. In this regards, we definitely see that the video format is playing very much in getting more and more popularity among advertiser and in being engaged with the consumer. So we definitely need to connect, those formats within the synchronization. More and more advertiser is looking about the shift from what they call linear TV spend, which is billions of dollars, that is shifting into digital TV. In this regards, we are not behind. And one of the things that we're looking at is to what extent the video format can play as well, not just on the web content, but also on the big screen, and also about any kind of digital content that is being displayed on other screen, as known as an over-the-top or OTT. All in all, we need to look at it as kind of a whole chain, or definitely, as I mentioned, a synchronization between the different devices.
The consumer journey,
Yes.
in other words.
Oh, that's the word.
It's funny because, as you know, I originally used to work for an agency. So I'm coming from an agency side. And when I used to work for McKenna Erickson, they've been also telling to clients that there is a consumer journey that starts in the morning at your home, and then listening to your radio when you're in your car, and then seeing billboards when you get into the city. And then obviously you go to the digital mode and seeing ads on websites. And then in the evening, like you mentioned, it becomes a big screen.
Yeah.
But it's interesting what you said right now, because it sounds like maybe in like 5 years from now, it's going to be just a video journey. People will start their day with watching some YouTube videos at home. Later on, they will be driving their Tesla with a big screen that they will see ads there as well, probably. Then get to work and see some online digital websites video. And Obviously at home, they will see OTT and CTV. So it becomes not a user journey anymore, but a video journey.
I think that it will be always, the consumer journey, but I think the format will be changed to more video content or video advertising, only because it's plays better than, what we know as banners and other very much different type of format. So when it comes to the effectiveness, or how advertiser is always looked about it, what is the ROAS, or the return on ad spend, they're getting a higher return due to the fact that there is a change on formats. But at the end of the day, let's not forget, it's all about, how effective are we taking the user from point A and all the way to point B, which is what we as advertiser describe as the action that they need to get at the end of the journey. And the action can be all kind of action, but the point here that they can identify and control the journey from the point of awareness all the point of the action.
So you continue seeing a growth in video budgets and video platforms. So we all expect to see video growth versus the other formats where probably became stagnatic. What do you think will be the top challenges this year?
Top challenges. So first and foremost, it has to do with user privacy. I think it's a huge topic, which is what is the future of cookies.
I don't recall ever people talking about cookies so much.
Yes,
like this year.
This is the main topic, especially since we were very much under the assumption that when Google announced that it's going to adopt a different technology and they're going to put the cookies aside, which was planned to be beginning of 22, and now we don't know when this is going to happen when it comes to using a third-party cookies. I think it's very much a need. It's need that is coming both from the user, and the other side is either publisher or advertiser that don't want to be associated with user stock. For us, we didn't wait, and the company, by the way, investing a lot of technology, and I suggest all the audience to follow the SORT solution, SORT, SORT solution, which is providing a third-party cookies alternative to third-party cookies, which is showing greater results than using the cookies itself. The second thing that I see as a huge challenge is very much to do what advertiser is looking for. It's all boils down to transparency and control of the supply chain, but in this regards, it has to do with optimization as well.
If we're touching this, what do you think about the supply chain in general and how DSPs are trying to get closer to the publisher today?
Yes, I think that's a very interesting topic, especially the latest Trade Desk announcement, and we all know what they're very much trying to do is to dismiss the use of other intermediators like SSPs and others. My point is that the supply chain that exists today require those chain or component to invest a lot about technology to optimize it. So local optimization drive the entire supply chain optimization. There is a risk where you're putting the entire supply chain on one vendor that is doing what is good for him, and I'm not sure that is good for advertiser in general. So we need to definitely look at it with a bit of grain of salt.
Yeah, and I also think that it might create some kind of conflict of interest because, there's a lot of criticism today about Google and how they manage both the media side and also the advertising side. My last question will be, what's Perion's strategy? I mean, you have made multiple acquisitions in the last 3 years, but what's the end goal and what's the bigger picture and vision for the new Perion under your management?
Great, thanks for the question. So from Perion's standpoint, we adopted a strategy which known as a hub and spoke, where we are having asset both on the demand side and the supply side. The idea is adding more asset or doing more acquisition on both sides. We connected all those assets in a very, I must say, sophisticated, but at the same time productive way into a hub. The hub, what we call the intelligent hub, provides 3 types of values for us. The first one is that we are trying as much as possible to share or to use common resources that for the both sides of the open web. The other thing is that reduce our media cost. And the third thing, since we're sitting on the middle, where we are very much exposed to a lot of data, is how we're able to translate this data into a customer value, and SORT is a good example.
Interesting. For sure, it's going to be an interesting year for us all. Doron, you just finished your earning call last week, and Perion has a very successful year. And I think that together with Vidazoo and maybe some more acquisitions down the road, who knows, we're going to have a better one. And I really hope that the industry and the markets will allow us this continuously grow. And yeah, I'm very excited that you came here for our first chapter of PubTech Review. This podcast is here to help publishers with more data, knowledge, and opinions. I think that there is not enough community around the publishing and publishing tech in particular. Today, everybody pretty much trying just to meet each other on forums, and I think that we here just to open a bigger platform and community. So publishers and in general employees that are working for the AdTech sector will be having much more information, useful information, Q&As. So I really appreciate you coming here and showing us more about the industry and your point of view. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And looking forward for a great road ahead.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thank you,
again.
Doron.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you
great
very
one.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
PubTech in Review.